What's up, Dragon Brood? Today we're going to take a step back, I think about 5 or 6 weeks ago while we were playing Mon White Aggro for two reasons. One, it had a moment in Standard and kind of got lost, and we're going to see how good it is, but also we played it on stream the other night and actually had a little bit of success, so I went back and made some further updates, and we're going to see how those play out on the ladder. However, before we do that, you know I gotta ask, as always, if you haven't, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and then hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I have a video up. But more importantly, we are on the road to 10K subscribers by February 1st. Those of you that join my streams know that it's lovingly referred to right now as February 1st. But I did get put to the test and told everybody if we hit 10,000 subscribers, I'll make some shirts that say February 1st with the announcements, and we'll just see how that goes. But yeah, hit the subscribe button, help me out. Let's reach that goal. We have about 1,500 to go. Let's see if we get there. And now let's go take a look at this video of Mon White Aggro. All right, starting at the top, we're going to be playing 4 Seed of Life's Bounty. This is just a good protective spell to keep control of the board and keep your creatures from dying. 3 Giant Killer, and we did have 4 in some previous versions, but you'll see in a minute here where we had to make some concessions. Selfless Savior for 4, also to protect your creatures. 3 Angelic Ascension. This also used to be 4, but we've reduced this. Moved the other one to the sideboard, same with the Giant Killer, just so we can make room for a few other things, as these are good, sometimes even as defensive cards, but not always that impactful in some matches. Then we're going to play 4 Hushbringer, not Harbinger. Harbinger is a whole different card. This is Hushbringer. The reason we're trying Hushbringer is for a few things. It stops anytime a creature went into the battlefield, doesn't trigger any abilities. This works good against stuff like Yorion, against aspirants. Though we are playing some of our, or not aspirants, but apparitions. You know, we are playing some of our own, but just the same, if the opponent has them, we can kind of play around it and it turns those off. It can also turn off stuff that would trigger things, other abilities that have things that enter the battlefield from a creature, or possibly things like Great Hinge. So we'll see. It's also small. It's only a 1/2, so it is susceptible to something like a Stomp from Bonecrusher Giant, so we have to keep that in mind. But it does gain some life too, and if you manage to get a Maul of the Skyclaves on it, it's not irrelevant. So we'll see how it plays out. 4 Luminarch Aspirant, y'all know my love for this card already. Seasoned Hollowblade, probably the best creature in the deck. Truthfully, just being able to discard a card and keep giving indestructible is huge. 4 Maul of the Skyclaves, again, probably the second best card in the deck. Just being able to get first strike, it blocks, it makes your creatures big so they're hard to remove. Just a lot of positives going on with this card. Skyclave Apparition, it's a way for us to remove some creatures, or just permanents in general, not even creatures. 2 Luris, which lets us replay, sometimes late game if you're able to replay an Seed of Life's Bounty or a Selfless Savior. You can kind of just keep creatures from dying from then on out, or even just protect Luris himself. Then we're playing Legion Angel with 3 copies in the sideboard, so if the game goes long, we do have a backup plan that we can just play other Fliers. There's also been games where against Rogues, I was able just to play Angels and keep tossing them in the way, and that was good enough. Lands, we got 4 Castle Ardenvale, 17 Plains, 2 Crawling Barrens. Nothing too fancy there. Let's go hop into the arena and see how we do. You know, let's keep it. It's probably not a great keep, but hey, all we gotta do is we land one of our 2-mana creatures here. We could be off to the... If we get a Hollowed Blade, actually, that's probably what we're really looking for. But we'll see how it goes. Alright, well, Seed it is. Opponent did mulligan down to 6 there, and it looks like they were a little reluctant to keep the hand, so I'm not totally sure what they're doing just yet. So I don't want to overcommit to the board here with this Giant Killer till I get a better indication of what we might need to kill. I mean, it might be safe to just run it out there, but you never know. Alright, they're opting not to do anything there. Okay, well, that's probably not awful. What are the odds they're playing something like the make us pay 2 mana counter? That could be a little bit of a pain, actually. Alright, let's attack first. See what the opponent thinks about it. Nothing? Alright. Well, we're going to try. Because I think these are too useful. We just don't want to give those up. If they try to Bone Crusher stomp the Hushbringer, we just... I was going to say, we just give the Hushbringer protection, and then they would lose the Giant. So that's a bad exchange for them. And this actually works out really well for us if they do play a creature here, because then we can remove it with the Apparition and then protect it with the Alseed, which is pretty powerful. If the opponent's just not going to do anything, we might just play a Giant Killer out just to have more attackers at this point. I have played Apparition aggressively before, just as an attacker, you know, not removing anything. Alright, they're going to cycle and neutralize. I guess this is just a weird Jeskai Control sort of thing. I mean, if they have like a Shatter the Sky here, that's actually really good for them. Because unfortunately, these are not Selfless Saviors, so can't really give something indestructible. Okay. Still opting in. We are drawing so much mana here. Yeah, I guess we attack. I mean, I don't know what else we're going to do. We'll just end the turn. No reason really to do too much of anything, because if the opponent does do something that removes our board, then we at least just start making tokens. It's not our preferred option, but it's the next best thing. Not sure what they're going to do here, because even if they do something like Experimental Overload, we just remove it with the Apparition. And that's pretty bad for them. I mean, they've seen a ton of cards this game, though. Frantic inventory for an extra card, opt for an extra card, cycle 2 things for bonus cards. There's a Storm's Wrath, which we will protect our 2 important creatures. Which I'm sure they have another one, but, you know, what are we going to do? Ugh, would have been nice there to pick up the Maul of the Skyclaves. Would have been much appreciated. Alright, let's see what the opponent's up to here. I mean, who knows? Maybe they just have Bone Crusher Giants. They're just not able to get out of their hand. Or Brazen Borrowers or whatever, and they're just worried about the Alseeds wrecking their day. Which is quite possible. There's weird spots where Alseeds are better than the dogs, Selfless Saviors, and vice versa. You know what? I'm just gonna let this ride. I'm just gonna be fine with that. I think they're setting up a Stomp here, and I would rather be able to stop a Bone Crusher Giant. And if not, we're still attacking for the same damage. The opponent obviously doesn't have any creatures we're that concerned about. Okay, there's the Dragonfire. So, the Harbinger's Hushbringer. I don't want to keep on calling it Harbinger. I was about to say, the Hushbringer's probably just going to meet an ugly death to a Bone Crusher Giant here. But there's not a lot we can do about it. And now we're in a little bit of a weird situation because we're more benefited to put counters on a Crawling Baron than we are to make a 1/1. Especially knowing what's about to happen here. Is it not? Well, that's a thing. Not going to try to kill the... Okay. Well, they could have waited till we attacked for that. I mean, now we don't attack. And we just pass. Yeah, that was just poor timing on the opponent's part. Yeah, we can't do anything because the Hushbringer's still out there. But that's okay. We're going to just make big Crawling Barons. That's going to be our route to victory. It's really sad, though, that we didn't get either the Hollow Blade or the Maul of the Skyclaves at any point during this. Both those would have been pretty nice here, I think. Alright, there's a Storm's Wrath. Don't hate it. Being at 31 life is alright. And Crawling Barrens is protected from the Brazen Bar because they can only bounce non-lands. The opponent doesn't want to take a hit here, obviously. And we do have to be careful. Well, I say that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, that wouldn't give us enough. That only turns it into a 6/6, and we have to be careful because there could be another Shark Typhoon. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. We activate that. That leaves enough that we could... No, because we need 10 total lands to be... Well, we need 4 for that, and then we need 5. So we need 9, but we only have 8. If we wanted to make a token and put counters on the Barrens. So that doesn't really work. And we also need 10 if we wanted to put 2 counters into place. So that doesn't really work. So, the problem is we don't really get ahead either if they have another shark here. So I wonder if we just pay the 4. Alright, let's put counters on. And then we're just going to go stupid and put them all the Skyclaves on. And see if that does anything. Because if they counter the Sky Maul, then they're not going to be able to make a second shark. Alright, works for me. Oh, opponent just GG'd us. What's about to happen? We're 31. They gave us the sad rock when they countered a thing, and then GG'd us. I don't know even know what that means. Alright, so let's assume they have another shark. They can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be an 8/8. We'll do that just as insurance, I guess, if we need to put a second counter. Or a second set of counters. I mean, I guess I was gonna say maybe something that, yeah, I didn't know what they had, but all right. This is an interesting hand. Ideal, but not terrible. So we're in. Let's do it. Archfiend's Vessel. All right. This is kind of the start we're looking for. And if they attack, we don't block. We attack back. Just kind of see what happens here. Sure, no blocks. I'm not that concerned about it. Eidolon. Okay. That is a little less fun for us. Because now they can give minuses to the Hollow Blade, so we actually kind of have to keep Alseeds alive to make the Hollow Blade work the way we want. Which is kind of silly, but it's the right action. So the reason I did that is just like sort of juice up these. We'll go ahead and do that. They can just as well... Well, they won't be able to do it this turn. But now we can at least block if we want to. Not a lot the opponent can do. I mean, you can get a point in. Either way, if you're trying to get the Archfiend's Vessel dead. Yep, no blocks. It's not our goal here. We're just trying to protect our future creatures. Hoping they don't have instant speed answers, which they don't. Now we just have to hope they don't have 2 answers in their hand for the Hollow Blade that give negatives. Alright, so we got through the first part of the equation here. The other thing is, if we can protect the Hollow Blade effectively, it will be 5 power with first strike, which means if they do get back an Archfiend's Vessel, we don't have to worry about the 5/5 so much. I don't know why. Also, across my mind, I am aware that last game, the Apparition and the Hushbringer are not necessarily a combo. And also that Apparition can't get rid of tokens. I just know people love putting comments down anytime they see something that resembles any kind of misplay in the comments. And the reality is, like, they just do no good, because most of us that are putting up videos every day, we're not even going to come back and play the decks that often in most cases. Or we've already seen the things in post or editing or anything else, so you're not really pointing out much most of the time. Okay, well, we're going to see what happens from here. We're going to see if all these Alseeds can protect a Hollow Blade and just make that go the way we want, hopefully. We do also have a Giant Killer, which isn't nothing here. I mean, we do have to keep that in mind. It could potentially kill the 5/5 as well if it came down to that. Alright, Mire's Grasp. Good news is the only removal the opponent likely has here is enchantment base. And this is also keeping the opponent from getting cards here, y'all. So this is a big deal. We're just going to take the damage. I mean, this isn't an effective race for us, but it is a race that we can have. That doesn't hurt either. I could dig that. Alright, so this Hollow Blade's trying hard. It's having to do a lot of work here. Let's see. If we play the Giant Killer. You know what? I think the Giant Killer's role is not going to be what we want it to this game. So even just being able to block something here is going to be effective enough. Or tap something down, either way. And this also kind of blocks something from the opponent as far as removal. So we don't necessarily have to give up the Alseed. But we will hit a point that we may be on the back of Crawling Barrens again, but we'll see. They scryed and bottomed. I don't know what that means here. But if this Giant Killer doesn't die, this is going to be a pretty weird situation for the opponent. Alright, same thing. Protection from black. We saw this. The writing was on the wall. This is where we can really get the opponent. Yep. Yes, we are sure. We want to turn that into a 4/4. Now, after this attack, whichever creature dies, we potentially just have lethal the following turn in a few different ways. Actually, not going to play this island, because if they just have another, like, Blood Chief's Thirst or something, we can protect the Hollow Blade with that. But this is going to put the opponent down to 6. And we could end up with multiple options here, actually. Even if the Hollow Blade dies, we can make a 1/1. We could attack with a 1/1, a 4/4, or 2/2, and a 4/4 flyer. All relevant things here. Call of the Death Dweller. Gives them a 5/5. Okay. Sure. I'm with it. It buys them a turn. Oh, opponent. Really? This is what you're doing? Take the action. Do we just block a Woe Strider? Yeah, like, that's bad for you. Actually, in that last one, once the opponent attacks, we're going to keep this. Once the opponent attacks there, they're actually just dead anyway, because we can just block the 1-2, and then we have more than 6 power in attack. We actually have 8 getting through no matter what, even if they block. So they were kind of in bad shape. Even if they don't attack, we end up with a 5 power first striker, a 4-4, and a 4-4, of which only 4 is on the ground, but they can't block that. Yeah, they have no outs really. It's just an ugly situation for them all around. We are not going to cast. Well, you know what? We are. I'm gambling a little bit here because the opponent could just as well have like a glass casket here to get rid of the aspirant. And that would just be annoying. But this looks more like some type of party deck. And the party decks I've seen people build, they tend to be really light on any real removal or anything. This isn't bad. We sort of get a 2-for-1. And if they get rid of our creature, we're only giving them back a 1-1. So we don't hate that at all. It's pretty sweet. I don't want to give them any more cards. Let's see if they do. And they're not playing an aspirant, right? No, they're not. I'm just willing them not to have it. You notice how I said that? Like, they're not. I just talked myself into the fact that they're not doing that. This is a rough spot for the opponent. I was going to say, if you didn't draw any land, this is going to get real ugly real fast. Even if you're playing party decks, y'all, you don't need to build your decks in a way that you just have to try to get all the party members all the time. Like, there's a lot of times you're fine just being with like 2 different members of the party out. Though, future decks won't really matter since we'll be able to play changelings. And changelings are going to count for all creature types. Alright, we're going to leave a mana up for this Alseed to protect the rest of our team. Yep, Skycat. Sounds great. I think the opponent's a bit far behind now, though. Especially since we have another Alseed for protection. We're going to be attacking with a pile of 3/3s and some protective goods. That is also cute. Don't hate that. I'm not going to have the mana to do that anyway, so I'm going to play this just in case we need to blow an extra protective spell. Thing is here, though, we might get the opponent close to low enough that our plan might be just give something proactive protection. I'm not going to attack with the Alseed because it's possible they flash something in. I don't know, maybe make a token somehow. Or pump their Skycat and then we just give up an Alseed for no reason. Yeah, this is not... Oh, the opponent's just going to take it? Well, okay then. That's a thing you can do. Oh, we're going to try to Brazen Borrower. Well, no, no, no. We're not going to allow that. That's a no-go, friend. That's a no-go. At this point, what's the most they're going to do? They're at 3? I guess there might be some random reason they play a Shatter the Sky. I doubt it, but you never know. We won't throw anything else in the way there. Insight? Sure. Alright, you'll go to 5. Still doesn't really change anything. Unless you have 2 creatures here. And then we're going to look silly for not playing this Giant Killer last turn. Hollow Blade will not get you there. Yep, that's going to be game. All she wrote. Just pump an Alseid, I guess. I don't know. Alright. Yeah, I'm not sure what that was like. Okay. Still ball game? Not sure what I'm missing. You already gave your thing indestructible. They're just using abilities to use cards here. Alright, sure. I'm going to keep this. You know, we don't have like a one-turn creature or anything. We don't have a Hollow Blade, but against an unknown opponent, like, this is mostly fine. I mean, there's a lot of sequences where we're going to lead with like a turn 2 Hushbringer that'll probably end up getting killed. And then follow it up. Well, there we go. Found a 1-mana thing. Still think we lead with Hushbringer here. Ooh, actually, no. That's not true. Let's go with this. If you're willing to block with the Cobra, so be it. Alright. What are we going to do? Doing Scoot Swarm shenanigans. Alright. Well, then the question becomes, can we just outrace them? Here's a real question here, because... Just looking, let's see, Harbinger when creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't cause, but they can still have abilities triggered. So what I'm thinking is we just get rid of the apparition. I mean, get rid of the swarm. Go ahead and pump our aspirants. They probably won't give up. Yeah, I was going to say. I was kind of calling their bluff a little bit there, but I didn't think they wanted to. They don't have another Scoot Swarm, because they would have just played that first and then gotten 2 Swarm tokens. Or whatever we call them, insects, I think it's what it makes. Well, they did that backwards. So they're going to get 1 less token now than they could have. They also opted not to make a token there, which I find very peculiar. So we're going to go ahead. I feel like let's juice up the aspirant. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a counter here. So let's attack. I mean, because we block with both, we just take the whole team. Sure. You have things. I agree. Yep. I think this is a case where opponent has a deck built to make a lot of swarms, but I'm not sure what they do after that. Generally, the best thing you could do is probably play Felidar Retreat, so you can turn all those things you're making into like 3/3s, 4/4s, whatever. This will put 2 extra lands into play, so now they'll have 3 Scoot Swarms. So now they can rush basically 2 turns here and make a whole pile of duders, which is something serious. We can't ignore that. Alright, so now they're going to make a lot more. So we basically have a turn now. But we are at 24. We did manage to get some life from an All-Seed. And if the opponent has no way to deal with Apparition, they're still on a 2-turn clock. Okay, well the retreat came out late. So we just have to hope they don't draw a land. If they draw a land, we're dead. If they don't draw a land, we're still in business. It's kind of what this... Oh, no, wait. Actually, is the opponent dead here? No, they're not. That's 7. We can only do 8. So that's no good. Even if we'd have put the counter on the Apparition instead of the Aspirant last time, that would only be 9 this turn. So still not enough. Oh, actually, would that have killed them? Because it would have been at 9. And we'd have been able to do 8. Yeah, still wouldn't matter. Okay, they still would have been at 1 either way. So, what do we do here? I mean, are we effectively, literally, that's kind of just our play at this point? Even if it's just a land, though, that just makes all those to 22. And we can still block a bunch effectively and gain some life. So I think we're still not dead. If it's another Fable Passage, then we're wrecked. Alright, this is it. This is the turn. Doesn't like it's a Fable Pass. Oh, wait, actually, if it's another thing that puts 2 lands into play. Oh, that's not it. That does nothing for them. We block across the board and the opponent's dead. Yep. Ooh, we go first? Sure. Why not? Hopefully they're not playing one of the Luris Aura's decks so we can protect our Hollow Blade. Because our plan looks like it's going to be Hollow Blade, Sky Maul, Hollow Blade? Probably going to cost us a lot of cards. What is this? Oh, Base Camp's not a good card, y'all. It's really not. Like, you don't need to be playing 5 colors to play these party decks. You just don't. That's a real bad Magic card. I don't even know why it comes into play tapped. Like, if it was still just colorless or any color mana just to play party creatures, it would probably be mostly fine. Unless there's just... I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe... Do changelings count for everything when they're in your hand? Because I don't think they do. So that would be the only thing if they maybe saw that, like, future-wise. I mean, sure. Rogues count as a party member. I mean, they qualify as a name on the card. Sure. Get in there, opponent. Bring the pain. I mean, they effectively still have a black and a colorless, unless they're casting exactly creatures. So, yeah. Pilfer, sure. I mean, we're ultimately going to win this race. So we're not really hurting. Though we could just play Luris and get a dog back. That's kind of cute. I don't hate that. Or we could just play another Hollow Blade. So many choices here. Probably wrong ones, honestly. But here's the thing. They haven't really shown us what they're doing, and they are playing creatures. So it looks like a rogue deck that they just happen to play a multicolor land for some reason. I guess maybe that's all that's going on. I don't know what's happening here. Yeah, that sort of looks like the deal. Let's do this then. I mean, you're gonna have to find answers, opponent. Like, they can have it. I mean, I don't know. Let's just see what's going on here. Alright, Wind Robber. Another Wind Robber? Sure. I mean, they have chump blockers for days. I will give them that. That is definitely a thing they can do. Okay, so they're doing it so they can play 3-color rogues, is effectively what's happening here. If this is the case, why wouldn't I... Oh, okay. Sure, you get one of my things. It was just a land. Awesome. Then I'll just sack this. Well, first we'll block. Oh, I can't block that. They made it unblockable. Well, that's a thing. Opponent's at 10. We take 2, 4, 5. Go to 14. Do we care? How many cards are in? Just 3? I mean, we give them a card if we do the savior thing, but like, how much do we care? Probably not that much. Truthfully. I mean, we're gonna get the dog back, but we're ultimately gonna gain life anyway from Luris attacking. Well, not unless they double block. We could also surprise the opponent by turning one of our creatures into a 4/4 angel, which is totally relevant here. You know what? If we attack with both, the opponent goes to 5, and then they're forced to sit back with one of their creatures. Though in a weird way, we could attack with Lurrus, force them to block. Then we turn one of their things into a 4/4, but then they could block next turn with the Hollow Blade. Then we get the dogs. Like, that's just a waste of time. It's just trying too hard for no reason. They chose not to block and just go to 5. Why is that? That feels a little bit trappish, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, we'll give them a card. I'm willing to play this game. Because this is kind of it at the end of the day, right? If they don't do something, I mean, even here, we can still just Angelic Ascension, get a 4/4. They have to have a counter, but then that means they're not doing anything else. You know what? I'm going to try to turn the second Hollow Blade into an angel. See what the opponent thinks about it. I mean, they have to be playing some removal cards here, right? Okay, I'm fine with that. That's far from the worst thing that could have happened. I guess another borrower for the Lurrus? No. Oh, that's cute. Now we can get a second Savior or an Aspirant out of the yard. Both decent options. Don't hate it. I mean, if we just get another Savior, we just attack to our heart's content, right? Is that what we're all about? Alright, sure, you get a card, opponent. Normally, Ghostly Pilfer kind of sucks. I've had it in a couple of lists, but yeah, in this scenario, he's working out okay since we're doing the Lurrus thing. We do have to worry about the Brazen Bar being able to block a Hollow Blade. That is kind of annoying. Alright. Lurrus has kept our number of cards down, so we only have 5 in the graveyard. Sure, sounds great by me. Taking 3, going to 2. We're going to go to 21. We're going to play this other Hollow Blade. I would say, unless, of course, they have an Essence Scatter or some such. Alright, the opponent's kind of in a situation here because we may just attack with everything, including the dogs. And we have an Aspirant in the yard that's going to be able to pump things. But, you know, opponent thinks they still have to attack. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know how you're going to help yourself here, but sure. Still only 7 cards in the yard. Now we have a protection creature in there. So that should be ball game, unless they have a way to remove the All-Seed. Because now we're just going to play that. Oh. What are you going to go get? Skyclave Apparition? That's kind of annoying. But, yeah, you're still at 2, so who cares? Oh, that's not true. Because we get Apparition, they will have a protection from white card. That does matter. Actually, no, because, well, I don't know. It depends. There's still some things here, because they have to get the Sky Mall, but then they're dead, right? Well, getting Luris, does that do anything? No. Well, okay, that keeps me from playing that thing out of the yard, so that does matter. That does matter, actually. Okay. So that gives them 3 blockers. We will attack with Hollow Blade. Yeah, I mean, we just attack with Hollow Blade, right? No need to attack with a Selfless Savior. That's silly. Well, is it? Attack, attack, attack. No, because the opponent just blocks a Savior with an Apparition. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. Yeah, seems fine. We'll give up a land to this Hollow Blade, and then we will make a token to block the Zerasan if we have to. So the opponent's kind of back into the same situation again, right? Actually, you know what? We should have attacked in a sense, because then the opponent's at 1, and then the token plus whatever would have killed them. Now, either of these, potentially they have 2 blockers coming up. So we'll see. We'll see. Not attacking actually could have been a weird thing, because we're not going to have to defend, keep 2 creatures alive. We're only going to really need to maybe do it for 1 of them. So a little bit of lazy math on my part. Kind of surprised, though, the opponent opted to play the land, try to play 3 colors, because really it looks like they only got the Robber of the Rich out of red so far. I'm not sure that's worth the addition. Otherwise, this is just a standard Rogues deck. They just added 4 cards, and it doesn't look like the land actually hurt their draws at all, because they were able to play stuff on time every time. Yeah. So they bounce the token. We block Zerasan. They're gonna replay Soaring Thought Thief. We attack with everything. They have to block, block, block. We get a 3/3 back. Yeah, sure. I mean, that's kind of a no-loss situation there. Block. Just for sport, we'll give one of these indestructible. And then I'm not sure what they really do now. Oh, well, that's gonna really bring things to a close, because you don't have answers for 2 of these. That is for certain. Just juice up 2 of them. Yep. Well, y'all, what do we think about that? I think it's awesome. We managed to go 6-0 there, and I didn't really feel overly threatened at any of the games. A little slow and strategic for an aggro deck at times, but I think that was just me overthinking some things. Didn't really get to see against the full-on control decks, though we have made some changes to help accommodate some of those situations, so I'd like to see that play out. Though we did have a couple of very near misses against Yorion on stream, and then we also beat a Dimir control deck even before the changes, so I think it's still possible. Also remember, we do have a sideboard with this deck, so if you want to play it best of 3, which actually it might be a better best of 3 deck even, I would give it a look. Really good sideboard for this one, I feel like. And yeah, I really feel like even with odd draws and some weird things working out where you drew like 3 of some things or whatever, we were able to still maneuver our ways to some wins. It's some pretty good versatility going on here. And maybe it's just a situation where this deck's got a little room to creep back in the format and have a little bit of competitiveness still left in it before we get to the end of the season. Now I want to talk about our card spotlight of the day, Recurring Nightmare. It's actually a really cool card. The only reason I'm bringing this up is not for some like crazy strategy or whatever and go buy your Recurring Nightmares, but this is more to show people the difference in card quality from old school to new school, where this card, along with some other stuff like Survival of the Fittest and things like that, used to actually dominate Magic. Now, Recurring Nightmare makes courtesy appearances every once in a while in Legacy, it seems like, and isn't the feared card it used to be, but it's just really neat being able to sack stuff and bring creatures back and keep doing that whole thing. There's probably some cool things you can do in Commander now that there's so many good enter the battlefield triggers on creatures these days. But it's just a really neat thing. I just figured I want to bring that up and just show people, hey, this is how different Magic is today, and this is probably a card a lot of people didn't even know existed. Also remember, if you would like to follow us over on Twitch whenever we're streaming there and doing giveaways, if you want to come join us in the Discord and talk about Magic or get deck help, or if you just want to follow me over on Twitter, visit my sponsors, or go purchase some merchandise and support the channel and help me out, that'd be great. All the descriptions for all that stuff is going to be down in the description below, along with the deck list for today. If you're ordering anything through TCGPlayer or Amazon, if you follow either of the links down in the description, even if you don't buy the item that's linked, as long as you purchase something within 24 hours, you don't spend anything extra. Just do what you're doing and we'll get a small kickback and you'll help me out. And finally, if you haven't, please remember to hit the like button, because that helps our videos really get in front of a lot of people and can use it right now. Hit the subscribe button, because that really helps me out, and then hit the notification bell. And if nothing else, consider hitting that subscribe button to help us reach our 10,000 subscriber goal by February 1st, so we can really have something to really show off for 1 year of hard work, putting up a video every single day since February. And that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.